My name is Sam Bergman. I'm a musician and writer here in Minneapolis, and I've been playing Sibelius under Osmo Vänskä for the last 20 years.
My name is Trevor Woggon. I tweet a lot, and I listen to several hours of one of the classical stations on Spotify every week.
Jan Sibelius was arguably Finland's greatest, certainly most influential composer, and was also part of a sort of global movement that happened in the late 19th and early 20th centuries that broadened out classical and orchestral music beyond its Austrian, German, and Italian roots, and really turned it into a global phenomenon. Sibelius's music is incredibly unique. It doesn't sound anything like Beethoven or Brahms or Wagner, but it still has this incredibly visceral pull with audiences and musicians alike. Anytime we get to play Sibelius, it's a very singular experience.
I think one of the cool things about classical music is the characters, the composers, who they were as people. Sibelius, he was kind of a vibrant character. He liked to smoke, he liked to drink. There's at least one photo of him wearing a very big hat. I think that comes across in his music. He liked to experiment.
I know which photo you're thinking.
You do? Yeah. It's a great hat.
It is a great hat.
It's a really good hat.
It's a very good hat.
I think an interesting aspect of Sibelius's work is the sort of relationships between the fragmentation of his themes, which were smaller than late Romantic composers that came a little bit before him, and also the unified sort of sound that he would go for in his symphonic works.
Sibelius' sound world in 5 words or less. I'm going to go with honest and spare and devastating. I went less than 5 because I think he would appreciate that. Osmo Vänskä conducting Sibelius has a cathartic quality that I think makes him very unique in his approach to the composer. Conductors have been conducting Sibelius for over 100 years, but a lot of the time there's been a desire, especially on the part of American and English conductors, to take a very romantic approach to Sibelius and to broaden and to stretch and to just sort of emphasize the emotional components, because a lot of people feel that Sibelius's emotion is hidden, that it's beneath the surface, and so you have to bring it out. And Osmo is not having that. Osmo believes that the power of Sibelius is in placing the catharsis points at exactly the moment in the score where Sibelius wrote them and not a moment before. So he is not going to telegraph the knife blow that is coming. It's just going to hit you full force. And that's an incredibly powerful experience, whether you're on stage or in the audience.
Sibelius is somewhat of a Finnish national hero. He was featured on one of their denominations of currency for a while. It would be like an American conductor conducting Ben Franklin's symphony, if he wrote one.
Ben Franklin did, in fact, write a string quartet.
Did he?
Yes, and he wanted to be able to play it, but he was a terrible violinist, so he wrote it in scordatura, where you tune the strings to different notes, and so all 4 instruments are in scordatura, and all 4 instruments only play those 4 notes. So you only have to play open strings.
Well, I know that's actually an interesting parallel, because didn't Sibelius write a violin concerto that he longed to play himself but didn't quite have the technique to do?
I didn't realize that he wanted to play it himself.
I read that this afternoon.
That would be very ambitious, given that most violinists can't play that concerto. This festival is going to be an incredible experience for all of us on the stage, because an orchestra is a living, breathing organism. It doesn't stay static, it changes constantly, and one of the things that means is that we have people in this orchestra who have been playing Sibelius with Osmo Vänskä for 20 years. And we have people who will be playing Sibelius with Osmo Vänskä for the very first time in January 2022. And it is the power of that diversity of experience that really gives the performances their electricity.
I often joke that my favorite hometown sports team is the Minnesota Orchestra, and I guess that makes Osmo like the head coach. He's the only conductor with the Minnesota Orchestra I've ever known in my time here, and it's been amazing to watch him do so many great composers and pieces with this excellent orchestra under his baton. I'm looking forward to seeing his unique interpretation of these works. I love the concert series where Sam gets to explain stuff because he does such a great job of it. And it's something that can be enjoyed whether you're new to a specific composer, new to just classical music in general. They're always very approachable, informative, and fun.
Thank you. That's very
You're
nice
welcome.
of you. The Minnesota Orchestra Sibelius Festival begins New Year's Eve and runs through January 16th. We have 8 concerts, 7 symphonies, and 2 versions of his incredible violin concerto. We hope you'll join us.
Minnesotans and Finns certainly have some things in common, one of those things being their interest in drinking liquor out in the cold. So come join us out on the plaza and enjoy some nice refreshing beverages at the Elixir House.
This is going to be a true winter in Minnesota experience, so please join us in January for the Sibelius Festival. Come down to Orchestra Hall, enjoy our Elixir House out on PV Plaza, take pictures with friends, bring family, tag us on social media, and you'll be entered to win a weekly drawing, and we can't wait to see you for these incredible concerts.